first time Jennifer Lopez speaking out to Interview magazine about her divorce from husband Ben Affleck, telling Nikki Glazer her world exploded, saying, quote, "It feels lonely, unfamiliar, scary. It feels sad. It feels desperate."
During the federal raids on Sean Diddy Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami earlier this year, it was reported that Diddy had cameras everywhere in his house and that he kept videotapes of prominent people engaging in compromising actions and illicit activities hidden in his safe.
Ben has a key that can come and go as he pleases, and he spends a lot of time at her place, coming over for dinner and playing with the kids. An insider told Closer, "The children enjoy having him around, and it's beneficial for his mental health."
Ben Affleck finding comfort in his past.
It's really quite an experience.
ET's learned the actor's leaning on his ex, Jennifer Garner, amid his divorce from Jennifer Lopez.
Oh my goodness, you won't believe the latest twist in the Bennifer saga. The drama just got even juicier after Ben Affleck sparked wild rumors about getting back together with his ex-wife Jennifer Garner. They've been spotted hanging out non-stop since Ben's shocking split from J.Lo, and get this, sources super close to Jen Garner are spilling that she's already called it quits with her longtime boyfriend John Miller because she's hoping for a second chance with Ben. But hold on to your seats, because guess who is absolutely livid about this whole situation? That's right, Jennifer Lopez. Word on the street is she is completely furious that Ben's running back to his ex-wife, and she's throwing some serious shade at Jen Garner. Sources say J.Lo completely lost it when she saw those pictures of Ben looking all cozy with Jen Garner. I mean, let's be real. This man always looked absolutely miserable around J.Lo, barely even pretending to smile on those red carpets. But here's the real tea. People in J.Lo's inner circle are saying she genuinely thought Ben would come crawling back to her. She never in a million years expected him to actually end their relationship. But wait, because there's so much more to this story. The rumor mill is buzzing that what really pushed Ben over the edge was J.Lo's alleged connection to this huge Diddy scandal. Insiders are dropping bombs, saying the feds found some seriously incriminating tapes of J.Lo during those March raids on Diddy's properties. And talk about suspicious timing. Just weeks after those raids, Ben suddenly packed his bags and moved out of the mansion he shared with J.Lo.
J.Lo candid that it's been hard, but she's doing a lot of self-reflecting, saying, when you get to a point where you think that you've learned the lessons and then it blows up in your face again, you realize, okay, I haven't. So what is it that I need to look at right now?
But she still got her beauty, her booty, and her bank account, so bye boy to him.
Can you believe it? This Thanksgiving was the first holiday without Bennifer 2.0, and Ben Affleck seems perfectly fine with that. He spent the special day with his ex-wife Jennifer Garner and their 3 kids doing something super sweet, volunteering at the Midnight Mission in downtown LA. Meanwhile, poor J.Lo was left posting lonely Instagram photos all by herself, and get this, she even limited the comments, probably trying to avoid all those awkward questions about Ben or Diddy. Now, seeing Ben and Jen Garner together at a family event isn't exactly shocking, but Page 6 spilled some seriously juicy details. They caught Ben looking extra comfortable with his ex-wife, even caught him whispering in her ear. And later, someone close to the situation made this super cryptic comment to People magazine, saying Ben is now very happy with life.
Affleck's addiction to alcohol sent him to rehab for the 3rd time and put a strain on his personal life. In 2018, he was seen in this photo being driven to a treatment facility by his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner. The 47-year-old calls his divorce from the actress, quote, "the biggest regret of my life."
The streets are buzzing with gossip that now that Ben's sober, he's been getting all nostalgic about his marriage to Jennifer Garner. And sources say Jen never really got over Ben. Even after everything they've been through, she's always had this soft spot for him. With them spending so much time together now, who knows what could happen. Ben recently opened up about why he feels so at ease around Jen. Apparently, they both love living that low-key life and are super protective of their privacy. But here's the kicker. J.Lo, she's totally the opposite. Ben even spilled the tea in J.Lo's documentary, basically saying she's as addicted to attention as he was to alcohol. Can you believe he said that?
The thing you discover, like you do with alcohol, is that there isn't enough alcohol in all the liquor stores in the world to fill up that thing. And in Jennifer's case, I don't think there's enough followers or movies or records or any of the stuff to still that part of you that still feels a longing and pain. Ultimately, that's the work that you've got to do on your own.
The tea just keeps getting hotter. Sources super close to Ben have revealed he absolutely couldn't stand how J-Lo was constantly broadcasting every tiny detail of their marriage to the world. He got completely fed up with her obsessing more about their public image than actually working on building a real partnership. I mean, can you blame him?
Ben has gotten very good at biting his tongue, but it's known that he's not happy at all about J-Lo's endless need for attention, an insider revealed to the publication. The Argo actor found it incomprehensible that his spouse Lopez wished to make their private lives public. I've always thought that things that are private are precious and unique because they are, at least somewhat, secret. In light of this, I had to make some adjustments, Affleck remarked in a previous interview.
And here's the thing that's absolutely mind-blowing. You'd think J-Lo would have learned her lesson from the first time around. Remember when she and Ben called off their first engagement way back in 2004 because of all that crazy media circus? J-Lo even admitted later that the whole situation totally crushed her, calling it the biggest heartbreak of her life. Like, girl, how did you not see history repeating itself?
It was the biggest heartbreak of my life. And I honestly felt like I was gonna die. It sent me on a spiral for the next 18 years where I couldn't get it right.
When J-Lo and Ben shocked everyone by getting back together in 2021, people were absolutely convinced they were destined to be together. J-Lo was going around telling everyone she just knew in her heart that Ben was her soulmate and that this time it would last forever. Talk about famous last words.
And I was reunited with the love of my life, and we decided we were gonna be together forever.
But if J-Lo knew that media attention messed up her relationship with Ben the first time...
But seriously, if J-Lo knew that media attention destroyed her relationship with Ben the first time, why on earth would she go and make an entire documentary about her love life, spilling all their intimate secrets? I guess Ben hit the nail on the head when he compared her desperate need for attention to his past struggles with alcohol. Now get this, Ben's friends are practically begging him to forget about J-Lo and give things another shot with Jen Garner. And speaking of drama, some fresh reports just dropped that Jen Garner's longtime boyfriend John Miller totally gave up on their relationship after Ben came waltzing back into the picture. According to one insider, John feels it's intimidating that she is still so close to Ben. But honey, John Miller isn't the only one losing sleep over Ben and Jen Garner getting cozy again. J-Lo is absolutely fuming that Ben is out there living his best life with Garner and telling anyone who'll listen how he's finally happy and at peace. And wait until you hear this juicy bit. Last year, when whispers first started about J-Lo and Ben's marriage problems, rumors were flying that J-Lo was trying to turn Jen Garner's own kids against her. Can you believe the nerve? Apparently, J-Lo was letting the kids do whatever they wanted, completely ignoring all of Jen's carefully set rules. And even though Jen tried so hard to give J-Lo the benefit of the doubt, it became crystal clear that J-Lo's behavior was making it impossible for them to stay civil. And let's not forget how Jen Garner was doing absolutely everything in her power to protect her and Ben's kids' privacy, while the paparazzi were constantly stalking them, just waiting to catch Ben at his lowest moment. But did Jen Garner ever chase the spotlight? No way. She worked tirelessly to shield her kids from all that Hollywood chaos.
Well, there was a solid decade where there were 5 or 6 cars minimum, and easily up to 15 or 20 on the weekends outside of my house at all times. And looking back on that, I really feel the stress of it. I could cry talking about it. I had to really get serious with myself and say, this is not healthy. Nobody should see pictures of themselves that paparazzi have taken. You can, in the morning, you can either be making breakfast for your kids, making their lunch boxes, or you can be getting paparazzi ready. And so, I know which way I'm gonna go.
But J-Lo, she was absolutely seething about Jen Garner still being in the picture, so she allegedly started undermining Jen's parenting. Meanwhile, Gardner was getting more and more frustrated with J-Lo's constant attention-seeking behavior. Sources say Jen was seriously worried that J-Lo's narcissism might have a terrible influence on her kids. See, Jen Garner has always been super vocal about keeping her kids out of the spotlight. She's all about having clear rules and boundaries because she grew up with strict parents, and she's always said that her upbringing helped her stay grounded when she hit it big in Hollywood.
I just said to my kids, show me the articles that prove that social media is good for teenagers, and then we'll have the conversation.
Oh my gosh.
Find scientific evidence that matches what I have that says that it's not good for teenagers, then we'll chat.
And how do they feel at this point?
My eldest is grateful.
Wow. Wow.
See,
and
you
we'll
just got to be in
see.
the long haul.
I mean, it's a long haul. I have a couple more to go, so just knock on wood. We'll see if I really hang in there.
Well, listen, that is very inspirational.
On the flip side, J-Lo's openly admitted she struggles with setting boundaries for her own 2 kids with ex-husband Mark Anthony. Like, talk about complete opposites.
My kids were at that age where they were like challenging the status quo and really, you know, kind of looking at you. And now it's not all like hearts and flowers anymore. Now it's kind of like, you know, why are you telling me to do that? I don't want to do that. You know, just like constantly kind of the push and pull of being a teenage mom.
Is that Max or Remy? Who's the most challenging?
Both of them. Both of them are. Yeah, because they're both really smart. They're both really loving and beautiful.
So when Jen Garner's 3 kids started spending more time with J-Lo and Ben, Jen reportedly started freaking out that J-Lo was influencing them in ways that completely went against her parenting style. She was terrified that J-Lo might be trying to turn her own kids against her and mess with all the values and boundaries she'd worked so hard to establish. Now, with all these rumors flying around about Jen Garner and Ben reconnecting, sources say J-Lo is absolutely losing it with jealousy and she's ready to make Ben pay. Literally. Get this. Sources are spilling that J-Lo is now going after Ben's massive $150 million fortune. An insider close to J-Lo dropped this bombshell, saying she feels she deserves compensation since she supposedly paid for most of their expenses during their short-lived marriage. The insider told Radar Online, one of the little-known secrets is Bennifer paid for much of their marital expenses, and now she feels he owes her. She's adding up all those private jet bills she put on her plastic, the hotels and meals, clothes, coffee runs, and gas. The high cost of living was done on her dime. She paid the lion's share for that $60 million mansion they bought too. According to the source, the shocking breakup after just 2 years of marriage made J-Lo realize how much Ben had been mooching off of her, and now she's demanding payback. She's demanding a full inventory of what she spent versus what he spent and wants all the money back she invested, the source revealed. She isn't the one who gave up on their marriage, and she's feeling seriously burned and is out for blood. If he had stayed in the marriage like a good boy, she wouldn't have minded, but he abandoned her, and ultimately Bennifer always gets payback, and now she's ready to play hardball. But hold up, because other sources are saying J-Lo's revenge plans aren't really about the money at all. She's absolutely humiliated that he's reconnected with Bennifer Garner, and she's desperately looking for any way to make him pay for it. But that's not even the juiciest part. Some sources are hinting that this could all be part of J-Lo's PR strategy to distract from her ex Diddy and her possible involvement in his criminal case. Here's where things get really wild. Back in March, just weeks before J-Lo and Ben separated, Natanya Rubin, the woman Diddy in the face back in 1990 during that nightclub shooting in New York, broke her silence. She dropped a bombshell, saying her life could be in danger for speaking out about Diddy and J-Lo's alleged involvement in the shooting.
Is my assertion wholeheartedly that Mr. Combs was inappropriately charged originally. His charges should have mirrored that of Mr. Jamal Shine Barrow. He should have been charged with attempted murder, a reckless endangerment, criminal possession of a weapon, and firing that weapon in an open environment. Mr. Combs did not have accountability for what he did. I physically, who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot smack dab in between my eyes? We know the country we live in. Unfortunately, those who have the money can oftentimes get away with their crimes. Unfortunately, and those who don't have the same social ranking are overlooked. And that's what has happened. By the grace of God, God saw fit to keep me whole, keep my mind sane and functioning, and keep me alive for such a time as this. And make no mistake, the gravity of the danger and the peril that I face and that I'm exposed to for having my say now, for what was done to me 24 years ago, is not lost on me. But let me make clear beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am not now, nor have I ever been suicidal. I love life, and I'm grateful that God spared my life back on that fateful day on December 27th, 1999. I'm a living miracle.
Yeah, you are
And
clearly
so,
a
if
very...
anything,
Sorry to
and
interrupt
I'm
you, but you
also
are
a
a very strong woman. I mean, that is very, very clear. And you have done your research, and you deserve to have your voice heard, which is one of the reasons.
And I think it's important for me to say I'm a healthy woman. I live a simple, quiet, risk-averse life. So if I should meet with an untimely demise, it would require and be worthy of deep investigation. I understand the peril of what I am exposing my life to. If God
it's disturbing to hear you say that. I mean, but
to have my say, it's disturbing for me to think it and feel it. But I am healthy. I don't have any intentions of going anywhere. I'm grateful that God spared me, and I plan to live out my life to see my children's lives actualized and realized.
And while J-Lo's been denying any involvement in the shooting, Natanya isn't buying it for a second. She suggested that J-Lo could actually be held accountable for allegedly being Diddy's mule if the case gets reopened. In her interview with News Nation, Natanya didn't hold back one bit. She said she hopes that Diddy and everyone else who got arrested that night in 1999 will finally face justice. Just when you thought this story couldn't get any more shocking, Suge Knight decided to stir the pot even more, making some absolutely wild claims about these rumored Diddy tapes. He's saying the feds actually tipped off Ben Affleck after those raids on Diddy's mansions back in March. During a recent episode of his Collect Calls podcast, Suge alleged that the feds found tons of videos during the raids showing J-Lo in some pretty compromising situations with Diddy.
When they go raid Puffy's house and they get all these videos of J-Lo doing this and J-Lo doing that, and they know the fact that J-Lo lied and said that the gun was Sean's or whatever and took that man to prison and destroyed his life, and she knew it was Puffy. I'm quite sure they probably called the FBI, gave respect, a courtesy call at Ben Affleck. It's a white man who got respect in the white world. I'm quite sure they said, we want to show you some things. It's about your wife. When he sees this that her and Puffy was doing and who they were doing it with, I'm quite sure they gave his ass those tapes. And I'm quite sure he can never look at her the same. I'm quite sure they heading for a divorce. Because, you know, that's a man who had a good life. Great parents, don't spend a lot of money, ain't tripping out paparazzi. He's living his life. He got his own team. She done brought all the extra that motherfucker. He won't out. He stayed married to Taylor, he'd be broke. Instead of just doing movies, he'd be doing Yum Yum Donuts commercials. Next thing he'd be doing these Jack in the Box commercials.
Now here's the most explosive part. Some new reports are claiming that Jennifer Garner gave Ben Affleck an ultimatum. If he wanted any chance of making things work with her again, he had to completely cut ties with J-Lo before the Diddy case hits the courtroom and brings all that negative attention that could affect their kids. Let's be real though, Ben was probably going to break up with J-Lo eventually anyway. He never seemed truly happy with her, not even on their wedding day. But this whole Diddy situation probably just sped things up and ended up being the final straw for him. But what do you think about this theory that Ben dumped J-Lo before all this messy stuff about her and Diddy came out? Do you think something huge about J-Lo will come out when the Diddy drama hits the courtroom? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and make sure you stick around for this next video.